All right, good morning. Welcome to a new day. Welcome. If you're just joining us, we appreciate your eyes and ears this morning. I'm JD Green. You got the Aired Out podcast. First words out of my mouth this morning have to be happy birthday to my good buddy, Glenn Bromert. Yes, happy birthday to you, my friend. Not sure how old you are. I'm guessing in the 70s. Doesn't matter. He is turning a new leaf, and he's got a new life in front of him, and I am honored to call him my friend. Deb Phillips is with us on the line from the world. Deb, good morning.
Good morning, JD.
Sounds like you're out and about this morning, Deb.
Yes, I'm on my way to the office.
Talk to me. What's happening in the world newspaper today? What can we expect when it lands at our business or in our mailboxes?
We have a congratulations page for the Montpelier High School field hockey team that won their state championship. This is the third time in 4 years, I guess, that they've won. So we have a congratulations for that. We have the service directory with lots of professionals to help you with your fall, almost winter, with winter needs. And then also we have some holiday happenings, I call them, craft fairs that are going to be coming up.
Oh, that's fantastic. We always pay attention to what's going on with regard to craft fairs and holiday festivals and whatnot in our community. That is so important, Deb.
It really is. And people, they follow those craft fairs, especially this time of year when, everyone's trying to do their Christmas shopping. So it works out really well.
There's been some great stuff in the world lately. There always is. It's amazing. I was just out of state for last weekend, and I had to take my copy of The World with me so that I could get caught up on a few things during the road trip. Sherilyn was driving, obviously, but yeah, I'm addicted to The World, Deb. I think many are.
Well, I'm happy to hear that, JD.
We appreciate your sponsorship, and we are always paying attention to what's in the world. We'll look forward to getting it today, vt-world.com, if you want to hop online and catch the digital version. A big hello to Gary and all of you over at The World, Deb.
All right, thanks, JD.
Deb Phillips with us on the line from The World. Very, very important newspaper to be picking up, and you ought to today. And I look forward to Chris, who's going to be bringing it by. This guy sitting next to me, I don't even know where to begin to tell you how much he is loved and respected and, frankly, honored all over the state of Vermont and far beyond the region, really. Sergeant Rick Yarosh with us. Buddy, I'm so glad to have you back.
It's great to be here.
Man,
I want to start by saying happy birthday to Glenn, too.
Yeah, man. Glenn's a big deal, dude.
I know. I love dude, he loves people. Like, I could just tell.
Yeah, he does.
So I love the comments that he gives us. So happy birthday, Glenn.
Yeah, he's a big fan of Sweethearts and Heroes, which is the organization that you're very much involved with. One of the co-founders.
Yeah.
You
Early on, long time ago.
Yeah, you and Tom Murphy started this thing, which frankly has turned into a monster. I mean, it is its own empire now. Really?
Yeah, but I will tell you that I had very little to do with that. That's all Tom Murphy.
I've heard you say that before.
Listen, I'm along for the ride.
Yeah.
And when you're along for the ride with Tom Murphy driving
in his bus,
oh man, what a ride it is!
Isn't that true? Wow, man. And basically, what is Sweethearts and Heroes?
Well,
in your words.
Yeah, so it's been always difficult for me to explain what Sweethearts and Heroes is because we are so much. But in the end, we are carriers of hope who give hope to other people, who teach people to jump into action when they see something going on. I think early on we started strictly as an anti-bullying organization. That was what it was 100% about.
For schools.
Yeah, for schools. And it was, teaching kids to jump into action, be heroes, be sweethearts. And sweethearts are the carriers of hope. Heroes are the people who jump into action and do things that other people aren't willing to do. That's where it started. But we've realized that sweethearts and heroes fits in this world everywhere, in every single aspect. And, that's kind of what we're doing now is we're not just in schools anymore. We're reaching for everyone. Everybody needs to be a sweetheart. Everybody can be a hero. And we all need those people in our lives.
And now you're infiltrating into a lot of the utilities.
Yes.
And talking to linemen.
A world I never thought we would be in, that's for sure.
How'd that happen? Tom was involved?
Yeah, I was going to say, Tom Murphy happened again. Yeah. So, when things happen, I don't ask how they happened. I just show up when I'm supposed to show up, and I do my thing.
Right.
So I don't know how it actually first happened, but I know that I did an event in Iowa with Tom, a keynote out there, and so we did some circles and some other sessions, and that's where it started for me. But I know it probably started for Tom well before that, and he really just didn't mention it to me. A phone call somewhere, an email that he got.
Yeah, right.
He just goes for it.
Tom really broke the mold and continues to break the mold, doesn't he?
He sure does. Yeah, there is no mold.
Yeah, exactly.
It just spills all over the floor.
You bring your message, which without you, Tom is really limited, because you bring something very different to the keynote address, the presentation, whether it's in front of thousands of adults or thousands of children.
Yeah.
You bring something that's very unique. And when you first come into a school and give a presentation, the administration, the adults, the kids don't really know what's coming.
I love to see the faces when I walk in, and they haven't done any research.
Yeah.
They're like, what do you know about this? And they're like, not much. Somebody told us about it, and we said, yeah, let's go for it. They've been all over the place. And then we walk in, and they see us, and they're like, what did we sign up for?
Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Who
are these guys? Because you got Murphy,
yeah,
who's a really big dude,
and
painted fingernails, free hug shirt.
And let's be honest, really good looking.
Yeah, no. Don't do it.
Can we say that?
You can say it all you want.
I'm saying it. He's a good-looking guy.
Oh man, his head is exploding right now.
I know this.
He explodes every single day, not physically. Yeah. Like I was blown up physically. He gets blown up in his head every single day when people do that for him.
Yeah, man. Oh, I know. I know. But it's so unique. I mean, Tom walks in. This big stud muffin, and there's you, who's been completely.
What are you saying? You got Big Tom Murphy as a stud muffin, and then there's you.
You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you exactly what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to retract anything here. I'm saying you are a
muffin. Just take the stud part out and you got me. Muffin.
You are, quite frankly, possibly more beautiful than Tom.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Really?
Thank you.
But seriously, you guys walk into a school and everyone is like, what's going on here?
I'm telling you right now, and this is pretty cool, and I'm a pretty humble guy. I like to be have a lot of humility, but there is no one out there like Tom and I.
Yeah.
There is no one out there. And that I just say that with confidence, and I know that there's no one out there doing what Tom and I are doing
in the world,
in schools and anywhere. So, we bring something extremely unique, something surprising, and that's what kind of gets people's attention. Yeah. And that's why I'm speaking in the first place. Yeah. Is because of the way I look. I am going to get people's attention no matter what, whether I say a word or I don't say a word. So if I'm going to get people's attention, then I might as well say something. And if I'm going to say something, I might as well say something extremely useful and extremely helpful.
Isn't that amazing that you, can we say, decided that you were going to use that?
Yeah. I think it was in my search of purpose. Like, who am I now? Because I'm not a soldier anymore, and I can't do that. So what am I gonna do? I can't really do a whole lot with my hands, so I'm not gonna be in some kind of labor position. Who was Rick now? And I knew that. I'm telling you, speaking was something I was awful at, of doing. But it was, I think, what I needed to be doing. People were gonna listen to me, so I took that opportunity.
You were saying yesterday on the air that it was very, very difficult for you to go out in public.
That was the hardest part of my whole recovery, really. It really was. Like, just getting used to the fact that, I say I can deal with people staring, which I can, but it was still hard when everyone was staring at you, and in my own mind, I wasn't okay.
Yeah.
So, like, when people were staring and I wasn't okay, then I'm like, man, what is my life right now? Like, what is it? And with kids, that was the hardest thing because they saw me differently. They saw me as a monster. I always tell people, just describe me to a child. Don't tell them I'm a person. Don't tell them I'm a man. I'm a human being. Don't say those things. Just describe me. No ears, no nose, half a head of hair, gnarled hands, one leg, Like those things, that kid in their mind is going to draw some type of monster. That's the way it's going to be. So kids saw me that way. And that was super hard for me. Thinking about having my own children someday. You can't go places without avoiding children. And what do? Just ignore it? No, you have to get used to it. You have to figure out how to deal with it, and that's what I had to do, and that was extremely hard in the beginning.
Well, you don't have to. You can.
Yeah, you're right.
You can hide away.
That's right. You can ignore it. And what kind of world is that you're living in when you're ignoring these things that are always around you?
Or just hiding away from it.
It's like ignoring the good things in this world that are happening.
You're the furthest thing from a recluse.
Yeah, not anymore.
My God,
not
buddy.
anymore. Man, I go to Chuck E. Cheese with my daughter. That's a battle zone right there. I always say I'd rather go back to Iraq than Chuck E. Cheese.
Why?
Man, Chuck E. Cheese, these little kids, it's a battle zone for little kids.
Yeah.
Like they're fighting to get on the little merry-go-round and like in the bounce house now that you got to pay for to get on. And oh, yeah. Chuck E. Cheese is a brutal place. Everybody's getting sick with
there's been some amazing Chuck E. Cheese fights. I'm sure you've seen the reels.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I remember Chuck E. Cheese back in the day.
I do too, man.
Getting in that ball pit and the coins were always at the bottom.
Yes.
Do you know what else was always at the bottom? I'm sure there was like pee at the very bottom and a wet diaper.
Yep, maybe some dried vomit.
Yeah, gross.
How old are you?
I'm 43.
All right, so you're 43. I'm 55. So yeah, we remember the old Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, the best. It was the best, but it was also really gross. We didn't think of it as gross.
We're okay though. Man.
Yeah, we're totally fine. Totally fine.
So, I had a guy on yesterday, Cody Copeland, and I had just met him, and I was so struck by yesterday's podcast episode. He came in here and talked about his story a little bit, but also about, the big, if you could take one word out of that entire episode yesterday, I think it was the word hope, that he found for progress, for moving forward, for being better, overcoming things. And he's a dad, man. He's a 7-year-old little boy.
Yeah.
And he's got real purpose and real
purpose.
Real drive.
It is the best purpose, being a father. It's also very difficult, but it is the best purpose in the world.
Yeah. And we're going to talk more about that, but I have to just say, you're talking about the way you look from these injuries that you sustained during the war in Iraq, and we'll talk a little bit about what happened for folks that are just joining us and seeing you on Aired Out for the first time. But look at how many of us are walking around, not with our whole bodies burned, but are way overweight, obese, too skinny, not too tall, too short, and we're walking around with some similar stuff in our minds that you've had.
And
Everyone's looking at me.
Because that's human nature. Human nature. I mean, so I don't worry about a lot of things anymore, but I still know, I still think about it sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just human nature. I do. But, I talk about this so we talk about the 3 things you need to live, and that's food, shelter, water. Those are 3 things that you require to have in your life to survive. And outside of that, we require acceptance and purpose. And I talk a lot about that in schools, and to anyone that wants to hear it, any message I give, it usually has acceptance and purpose in there. But the acceptance piece, for so long, I had been preaching it as, I was not accepted by other people. And once that little girl came into my life in that restaurant and she said, he's really nice, that gave me acceptance. But in the end, it wasn't acceptance from other people. That didn't change. That one little girl showed me acceptance. I accepted myself. And how important is that? So those people that are walking around that are like, everybody's looking at me, because I would say a part of that is you're just not accepting of who you are. So how important is that to accept who you are? I mean, it's extremely important. Be proud of yourself. Don't always look at the downside of who you are. There are downsides of who you are. Work on them, but accept who you are.
Yeah.
So.
And also, behind your luscious locks and your beautiful face and your incredible body and whatever it is that you got on the exterior.
I thought you were describing me.
I
I'm
wasn't.
Like, what
I know that I know you thought I was describing.
This is strange.
I know. But behind all of that, there's also insecurities that so many of us have. There's like deep.
All of us have
inner
insecurities. There's all of us. Some of us are very good at hiding them. Very good at hiding them. Yes. But I think we all have them. And I'm sure there's people on that are listening and are like, not me. All right, I get it. But it's there a little bit. That's cool that you say that, and you can hide it pretty well.
Yeah. And
that's a strength too. But it's also, there's weakness in that.
And here you are. Your exterior will never change.
That's part of acceptance. This is it, man. I ain't changing this. That's when I talk to the kids. I said, do you think I like the way I look? And they're like, they know me at this point. So now they're like, I don't know. Because if they just were meeting me, they'd be like, no. But they've heard some of my story at this point. And I said, do you think I like the way I look? And a lot of them were like, yeah. Some of them were like, no. And I said, I don't. I love the way I look. I said, do you know why? I said, because it's the way I look. I'm not changing this. This is what I got. This is who I am. It's not what I wanted, but it's what I got. So I love it today. And if you are sitting there and you're thinking, you know what? I don't like the way I look. I don't like who I am. Like, if I don't like who I am is what you're saying, then you got to do something about that. That's called your moral compass is probably sneaking in and saying, hey, you're not doing some of the right things. That's okay. Make some changes.
Yeah.
But with the way we look, this is what we got. You better like it, and you better learn to love it, because you got to be comfortable with who you are.
By the way, that little girl that you were just mentioning, this was a pivotal moment in your life when you went out to a restaurant, I think with your wife.
Early on. Way before my wife was ever in the picture.
Okay.
I met my wife about, I think we're coming up on 10 years now.
Okay.
And
so this was way.
Yeah, this was just a year after I was injured, less than a year after I was injured, probably about 8 months after I was injured.
And this little girl was, first of all, you had to muster up some big-time courage to even go into that restaurant.
Yeah.
And then you had this little girl that was staring at you the whole time.
Yeah, well, one thing is I love food, if you couldn't tell. So going to restaurants was a requirement in my brain.
Yes.
So I still forced myself to be uncomfortable in restaurants at least.
Yeah.
But I went to that restaurant and little girl was staring at me, just like. But that was everywhere,
Sure.
and it wasn't just the little girl; it was her parents and everyone else in the restaurant. Because, listen, staring is normal. I know it's not accepted and it's not acceptable, but it's normal. Like, we all do it. We got to be careful about it because we might hurt somebody. But I mean, in the end, we do it. We're trying to figure out what we're seeing, why we're seeing what we're seeing.
Yeah.
That's why we do it. So she was staring at me, and I could see that she was afraid, just like most kids were. And Her grandfather leaned down close to her. He was sitting right next to her and said, "Go say hi to him." She came over eventually. Didn't come over the first time, but eventually came over. And then I said, "How you doing?" And I did that when she got about halfway over because I didn't want her coming all the way over. And when I said that, she stopped and turned around and ran back to her grandpa. Just what I expected would happen. That's just what always happened. That's why I didn't want her coming over in the first place, because I knew how it would end. But when she got back to her grandpa, that's where my life changed. And she said, "Grandpa, he's really nice." That's certainly not what I expected her to say, but that's what she said. But that also, I think I learned a lesson that, I mean, definitely learned a lesson that day. I have to be able to talk. That's what I still have. I still have that. I still have my voice. And I think when that little girl even heard that I could talk and had the voice that I had, and wasn't like this scary monster voice, which might be what they're expecting.
Yeah.
I think that surprised her, and she's like, "Oh, wow, not what I expected. He's actually really nice."
When people see you, I mean, we're all curious.
Yeah, for sure.
What happened to that guy?
Yeah.
Was he in a car accident? Was he in a fire in his house?
Yeah.
And we want to walk up to you and say, "Hey, what happened to you?"
Yeah.
And some of us,
And you can.
it's not amazing.
Yeah, you can.
say that you can. Most of us are like, "Nope."
I know.
That's not respectful.
And
To
I
say,
think
hey,
most.
how do we come up with a way of saying, "Hey, what happened to you?"
That's exactly what you have to say. That's it.
Wow.
It takes courage inside of you to. Well, so it's rejection. We're all afraid of rejection in the world. So the rejection would be me saying, "I'm not comfortable talking about that," or "That's rude." That's rejection. You know what? You're still fine. Everything's
yeah.
fine. I'm
Right,
fine. You're fine. But you've been rejected, and you don't want that. Nobody wants that.
Sure.
So take a chance. I'd say there's 95% chance that person will gladly tell you what happened, or they will nicely tell you no. I think you're very rarely going to run into a person who's been through something really crazy in their life.
Right.
That's just going to shun you. I don't think
Right.
that's going to happen. I don't. I really don't. We're used to it. And if we're out in public, then we're more comfortable with our situation and our surroundings.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've just learned a ton from this whole thing, and I'm stronger today than I've ever was before.
Look at the number of us who are like, "What? Stand up in front of a couple hundred people, or 1,000 adults? There's no way in hell." But here you are doing that with an exterior that is like even more reason to be self-conscious,
Yeah.
to not want to.
You would think so.
You would think so.
These scars gave me the confidence I needed. That's what I wrote on my first business card ever, because before my injury, I would have never wanted to, or I would have never made the choice to stand up in front of people and talk, ever. But then it's like, who am I? I'm trying to figure out who I am, what I can do, and that was something I could do. Yes, I had to force myself into uncomfortable situations to become comfortable. But that's what we should all be doing. We should all be forcing ourselves into uncomfortable situations so that we can become comfortable with those things.
Isn't that something?
Especially if they're everyday things.
Look, let's give an example of that right now. Yesterday,
Right.
Cody Copeland comes in here. This is not what he does.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't go in front of people. He doesn't speak into a microphone.
Yeah.
And here he came in here yesterday, and thousands of people connected with him.
I bet you, I don't know Cody, but hearing what you just said about that, I'm sure he was trying to find ways out. Like, I don't want to really do that. Like, but then you force yourself, you made a commitment to somebody, you force yourself to do it, and then you do it and you're like, man, that changed me. That changed me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it changed him. You
know.
force yourself into uncomfortable situations to become comfortable. I mean, that's easy. That's easy science. It's just hard to force yourself into an uncomfortable situation.
Wow.
But you have to.
I mean, here's a guy who is a huge hero, who fought for his country. And like I said yesterday, he's lucky to be alive. He knows that. And went through some real hardship during and after his experience in Afghanistan. Let's talk about if you don't mind, and I know that you every time you're on my podcast and anytime you're anywhere, you always have to answer this question.
Sure. For the new people.
What happened
Yeah.
to Sergeant Rick Yarosh?
Meth lab.
A meth lab.
Meth lab. Oh, that's not. That wasn't the version we were looking for today. Listen, so I have a sense of humor, obviously.
Yeah, obviously you do.
And there's times and places for that sense of humor. So once in a very great while, I will throw that one out.
Yeah.
Like, when I can tell who the person is. Like, I had a guy sit down with me on a plane one time, and he looked at me and he says, "Man, looked like you had a bad day." And I was like, "Yeah, it was a bad couple months actually." But I'm like, this is gonna be a great conversation. So, yeah, time and place for that response. I said that once to a bank teller, and that was not the right time and place at all. She was very upset with me, actually. Yeah, so I very sparingly used that. But I also know somebody who was actually burned very badly in a meth lab. I went to a burn conference in New York City, and I met somebody that was, and man, he's living the best life ever today. Yeah, but you get blown up, and what do? Your life changed, so now, he was obviously in a bad place before. This is the perfect chance for you to change your life. Your life was already changed. Now it's a perfect time for you to change your mindset too. So he's doing amazing today. So I always say, when I jokingly say that about the meth lab, I also say, I know somebody who was actually burned in a meth lab, and they gave me permission to joke about that. So don't worry about it. But yes, a bank teller in a bank, not the right time, not the right place. I've learned that one. I don't know why it came out of me there. I'm usually very good with figuring out when to joke about things. But the real story. So a long time ago now, over 19 years ago, I was in Iraq, September 1st, 2006. And my Bradley was hit with an IED right underneath my Bradley. And the explosion went through the bottom and up into the turret where I was sitting. And that's also where we have our fuel tank. So the explosion hit the fuel tank, which caused a really big fire. And I always tell the students that's why I look so incredibly handsome today, is because I was very blessed to have survived a fire 19 years ago. I had to get out of the vehicle first, so I did. Only way out is through the top, so I got to the top. Next thing I had to do was get to the ground. Big problem was 10 feet tall. That's how far I had to jump. Bigger problem was I couldn't see, because my face was covered in fire and it was covered in my eyes.
Your whole body was covered in diesel fuel.
That's right, yeah, JP8 diesel fuel. So I'm engulfed in flames, man. I'm a human torch at that point. And the only way off of the vehicle was to jump, and I couldn't see anything, so I just jumped in any direction. Made it to the ground, but when I landed, I couldn't see the ground, so I couldn't brace myself for that landing. So I broke my leg really bad, ending up in an amputation of my right leg below my knee. So that's a positive. I don't have an amputation above my knee. So those are just things that I think about today. Like my hands are all messed up, but I'm lucky to have what I have. I appreciate the things that I have today. So landed on the ground, broke my leg, stop, drop, and roll. That's what you're supposed to do when you're on fire. So that's what I did. But I couldn't put the fire out because stop, drop, and roll probably only works when there's a little bit of fire on your shirt, not when your skin and your whole body is engulfed in flames. So eventually, once I realized the stop, drop, and roll wasn't going to work, I couldn't stand up and run because my leg was broken. Even if I could, I couldn't. I didn't know where I was going. I couldn't see anything.
Right.
I gave up. So biggest regret of my life, giving up. I will never give up again. That's one thing I know for sure. I will fight till the very end. So I have a terminal illness. I'm not saying I do, but if I had a terminal illness, I'm going to fight until the very end. And I don't think that's false hope. Like, I might make it through this, but I'm going to fight till the very end. I'm going to live every single day that I can live. I know people who have done that until the day they were gone. They lived the best life they possibly could until the day they were gone. I'm never going to give up again. I just know that. And part of that is from that experience. But that day I did give up. Eventually rolled in one direction, and I fell into a canal that was there to save my life. The water put the fire out.
Very dirty water.
Very dirty water. So it saved me, but almost killed me. In the hospital, I was extremely sick from it. I had aspergillus, which is a fungus that's extremely deadly and extremely contagious and spreads very fast.
It's in your lungs.
It was on my palms. And it spread. If it spread past my hands, it would have killed me. So they almost amputated my hands. So I say I appreciate what I have with my hands. That's one of the reasons, because I almost lost them. But no, I had a pulmonary embolism, so that had to do with my lungs. I had a blood clot in my leg at one point that passed through, and I can't even figure it out sometimes. I know I'm lucky, and I really do. I think about that every day. But when I really dig deep into all the stuff, like, that's just the story of that day. I mean, that's just the story of really like a 30-minute period in my life. I don't know how I survived that. Then I'm in a hospital in Iraq. Then I'm in a hospital in Germany. And then I'm in a hospital in the United States in San Antonio. And I'm in that hospital for 6 months. And there were days that I probably shouldn't have survived. Like, my kidney stopped working one day, so they had to put me on dialysis machine. And the dialysis machine they brought in stopped working. And then my kidneys started working on their own again. Like, it just doesn't make sense, some of this stuff. The fact that I can still see today, the fact that I didn't breathe in any of that smoke and that fire, I have no clue. Like, 1% of people with facial burns, I read a stat, 1% of people with facial burns like this survive because you breathe in the fire, you breathe in the smoke, and you have inhalation damage, and you do a lot of damage. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how. But I know I'm blessed. I can't answer how, but I know that I am still here, and I'm very, very lucky. And, man, but yeah, when I add all that stuff up together, I mean, and again, that, the last 2 minutes of me explaining that, that's just a very few moments of that 6 months. Like, every single day, there are probably 3 or 4 different stories for those days of things that I went through, or things that I was dealing with, or things that my family was dealing with. And like, what a mess it was. I can't remember a lot of them because I was in a coma for a while. And even when I woke up from that coma, I was on so much weird medication.
How did your parents take all of this?
My parents are tough. But that was always the hardest thing when they got that phone call. And my brother actually took the original phone call because they were at work, and my brother was home, and he took the phone call and had to then tell them to call my parents, which that was pretty crazy. So when my parents first they got the phone call and they told my parents to go to Germany because I was in really bad shape, and they didn't believe that I was going to be able to make the plane home. That flight, that long flight, that I needed to be in an actual hospital. Now the airplane's a hospital, but it doesn't have everything they need. So they didn't think I was stable enough to get on that plane. So my parents had to go to get their passports. They didn't have their passports. This was 20-some years ago, where not everybody always just had a passport. And so they had to go get their passport. And as they were getting their passport, they were really coming to Germany, unfortunately, to say goodbye. That's really what it was. I needed to be in San Antonio. That was the burn center. Germany was not a burn center. They could only do so much for the burns. But that plane also needed to leave. It needed to get to the States because there were other guys on it who were injured really bad. So last minute, my parents were out getting their passport, getting their photos taken for that, and the doctors called them again and said, never mind, go to San Antonio. The stars lined up right. And they flew to San Antonio. They got there a little bit before I did, and then they saw me in the hospital. And when my mom saw me, she's always said this. She said the only way she recognized me was from my teeth. Nothing else was recognizable. She said my face was just so swollen. It was like a pumpkin. And my mouth was wide open because of all the swelling. I couldn't even close my mouth. And I probably had tubes and stuff in my mouth. But she said the only way she could recognize me was from my teeth. She knew what my teeth looked like. And and that's how they identify people sometimes when they're unrecognizable, is from their teeth. But that's what my mom could recognize me from, was from my teeth. Pretty crazy.
Let's get real here. There was a point when you had asked a friend to shoot you.
There was a point before. So I have this really good mentality today of like, I can get through anything. But before my injury, I wasn't that person. And I think most people are not that person. I regret not being that person. But I told a buddy of mine a week before my injury, I said, if I ever lose my leg, I want you to shoot me. But because I couldn't live without a leg. I was a soldier. I was a football player. I was a wrestler. That was like who I was. And I had seen people losing limbs in Iraq. I hadn't seen the recovery part, 3 years down the road, 4 years down the road. It's the early on stuff. And when things are early on, it's ugly. It's not good. The mentality isn't like, I am just going to be awesome and just going to get through this. I don't feel like there are a ton of people who can have that mentality right off the bat. I have seen a few, but I don't see many. So it's a mess. So I'm seeing this mess that people are going through and their life doesn't look good. And I'm like, man, if I ever lose my leg, I want you to shoot me. That's what I told him. I mean, I regret saying that, but I can't really regret it. That's who I was at that time. I just didn't believe I could do it. But I guess the point is, we don't know what we can do until we do it. We don't know what we can get through until we go through it. And I can get through anything. I know how tough I am. I know how strong I am. I'm certainly not as physically strong as I was before, but mentally, man, I can't match myself from before my injury. I'm way better and way stronger than I ever was in my entire life. Life is good. It's not easy. It's good.
Did you want to take your own life at any point? Did it cross your mind?
So when I was in that hospital, I think there were days that I woke up and I'd be like, man, I'd be better off dead. I think that's the mentality that I had.
Were you looking for a way?
I don't think so. Even if I could, I couldn't. I couldn't even move. But I don't think so. I don't think that was it. I think if I passed away, okay. Like that's kind of the mentality it was. It wasn't, I don't think I was ever looking for a way, but I think it was like, if it happens, like, okay, because this is awful. This is the worst thing ever in the history of my world. But thankfully it didn't happen because, man, I would tell you I would go through it all again today.
You've said that before.
Yeah.
I've heard you say that before.
But the problem with
You've
that is,
also said this is the best thing that ever happened
it's the best thing that ever happened to me today. But the problem with that is, I say I would live through it again, but I wouldn't be able to do it on my own for sure. I definitely didn't do it on my own to get here. I mean, oh man, I hate using this because then people are like, oh, you don't have to be strong. No, you do have to be strong. But I say that 95% of this is like people around me that helped me be strong and gave me that strength through really tough moments. But I say it's the best thing that ever happened to me today. And I say I would go through it again. But if I went through it again, unfortunately, I would have to drag everyone else through it again.
Yeah.
I don't want to ever do that to the people that are the closest to me, my family, my parents,
Sure.
my mom and dad, my brothers, my friends. Like, that was hell for them. And unfortunately, to get back where I am today, they would have to go through it with me. I wouldn't have been able to get here on my own. There's just no possible way.
You say food, water, shelter, acceptance, and purpose.
Yeah.
You have mastered acceptance and purpose. I
Yeah.
mean, you are literally spending every waking minute of your life with purpose, with a capital P.
And lots of it.
My brother.
Lots of it. Yeah. Backup purpose. If something falls through, if my speaking job ever left me, and I hate even calling it a job because it's a passion and I love it. But if I couldn't do it for some reason someday, like I lost my voice, I don't know. Man, I got backup purpose. And I also know that I wouldn't be the end of me. I would figure out another way to talk. I don't know how. Technology is an amazing thing. I would figure it out. I talked to a lady on a podcast one time, and she was the head of the podcast, and she had something going on with her voice. And she said it's something that she had, and it's not going to get any better, and there could be a point where she actually loses her voice. Yeah. And it's scary to her. And I said, that might be the day that you find out who you really are when that voice is gone. Because that was her job. Her voice was her job. Your voice is your job. Like your purpose. Like what you're doing today is a part of who you are. It's a part of what you have. You're helping your community with it. When it's gone, now what? That might be the day you find out who you truly are. And I told her that, and she was like, whoa. And I found out who I truly was when I lost the things I thought were so important to me. You know, my physical prowess, and I was strong, and Man, then I found out who I truly was. I needed it.
Man, if defeat is a person, if evil is a person, whether it's Satan or whoever, they know who Rick Yarosh is, and they're all saying, son of a bitch, we just cannot crack this guy.
We lost.
We lost. We lost.
Yeah.
And we're losing. And we will lose tomorrow.
Yeah, well, it feels good to hear that.
We can't get this guy.
Yeah, you're not going to. You're not going to. And, me saying that hurts me a little bit because, humility is such a big thing in my life, and I don't like to talk myself up. But sometimes, man, it feels like really good to recognize that you can't stop me from, I'm not giving up. I don't care how difficult it'll get.
Your backup plan here. Apparently, you're a beautiful singer, and this is your
Murphy.
backup. Your backup
Get him
plan.
off of there.
According to it's some guy named Loudon Granger.
Oh, Loudon, why are you calling me out like that?
So let's hear it, man.
No, you're definitely not hearing that.
When's the album coming out?
There is no album. There is no next step for that. I thought it was Murphy. Murphy always gets on me about that. No, Loudon, we were doing a podcast with Loudon, and Loudon heard me start singing. Then he's asking me, he's like, you need to help me get lessons. I'm like, Loudon, I need lessons. I have a natural voice, but I don't know how to sing. You know what I mean? I have a natural ability, but I don't know how. I need lessons. And
I want to play. I want to play something from yesterday.
Okay.
Of you here.
Yeah.
Let's put this on the monitor and see if this will work.
It is Veterans Day. So, happy Veterans Day to all of you who have made that choice to serve our great country. Thank you all very much for your service. And as I've said before, this is bigger even, thank you for your continued service. To whatever you're doing today to serve those people around you. Our service should never end. Even though we served before in the military, our service should never end. So what are you doing today to serve the people around you? I thank you for that as well. So being Veterans Day, that also means it's been 1 year since we released the book, A Bridge Named Amos. It was really awesome being able to write this book, and it's been a great year of it being released. I've read this book probably about 100 times in different classrooms and different auditoriums across the country, mostly the Northeast, but I've read it about 100 times to students in schools. So today, I'd love for you to read the book. I'd love for you to record your kids reading their favorite page in the book. And when you record their favorite page, then post it to our social media. Tag us in it, at Sweethearts and Heroes, or even at Rick Yarosh. I'd love to watch your kids reading the book. And also, when you do, we will actually send you a digital version of me reading the book. It's a really cool thing that we worked with the artist. We worked with some really cool technology. And we also worked with Binghamton University to record my voice reading the book. So please, check it out. Read the book today. Post it. And we will send you that really cool digital version of the book. So again, check out the book, A Bridge Named Amos. And to all of you out there who have served our great nation, a happy Veterans Day to you.
Damn, fella, that's amazing. Tell us about this book, which you have right there with you. And man, I don't know if you're able to or if you're willing to read this on the air, but tell us the story about this.
Yeah, so I wrote a book, which is pretty crazy, first of all, because I'm not an author, that's for sure. It's hard to give myself that label, but I did write a book, so I guess I am an author. But I wrote a book about my dog, and really it was an easy book to write because he traveled with me for over 8 years, and we just built an amazing life together, and he helped me through so much, especially, the kid thing. So we were doing the presentations at this point, Tom and I, for middle and high schools all the time. And once in a while, an elementary school would say, we want the whole school to get a message, so can you do our elementary as well? And Tom would say, sure. And Tom would just do the presentation for the little kids, and I would like leave and go have lunch or something like that. And I just felt like I didn't have a place in the elementary schools. I didn't like to walk in there and damage the children. That's what I felt like I was doing.
Or distract them.
Right. But like I would walk in there and they would be afraid of me, and I didn't know how to handle that. And yes, that little girl in my life earlier on helped me get through stuff, but she didn't fix everything. But she did to give me hope for sure.
Wow.
And I held on to forever. I mean, sharing that story for 19 years, but she didn't fix everything. That wasn't the fix-all. There's no fix-all. There's a lot of pieces that fix things. So we'd go into these schools, and Tom would do that presentation, and I wouldn't do it. And sometimes the schools didn't want us to do it because they knew the way I looked, and they didn't think it was appropriate. And we still run into schools that have that happen, and we kind of just chuckle now because we're like, they're missing out. You know, very rarely can we not convince them that this is the right thing. But Amos was he kind of helped me get through that. So I started bringing Amos with me to the presentations, my service dog, Black Lab. And when we did the introduction for myself coming into the room, Tom was already out there in his Mr. Incredible shirt. His head isn't big enough. He has to wear a Mr. Incredible shirt, and everybody has to call him that, Mr. Incredible.
Stick on muscles.
Yeah, and I have to do that too. I have to be like, oh, look at Mr. Incredible. And then later in the day, I have to call him Tom. I call him Tom. And the kids are like, who's that? I'm like, well, I can't call him Mr. Incredible all day long. It's really bad for me.
And for him.
And for him, that's right. So, so at the beginning, Tom would say, I brought a hero with me with the little kids, or with the older kids, 3 through 5. So it's K through 2, 3 through 5. We do 2 different presentations. K through 2, Tom would say, I brought a hero with me. And Amos would come running out by himself. And Tom would bounce a tennis ball, because if Tom didn't bounce a tennis ball, Amos would go straight into the group of kids and like lick everyone's face. He loved the kids. So he had to bounce a tennis ball to get Amos to come to him. And then Tom would be like, wait a minute, that's Amos. That's not my hero. This is my hero. And then I would come out, and they would all see me, and they'd be like, oh, look at the dog. They forget I'm even there. So he just broke the ice. He was a distraction for me that I needed early on. And then, Amos got to the point where he couldn't travel anymore. And even well before that, I didn't truly need Amos for that anymore, but he was a part of the show. And then when we stopped bringing Amos, I'm like, Tom, I remember one day I was like, I'm not going to bring Amos. He's just getting old. He didn't like the car rides anymore, hotels. We were gone for a week on end, and winter time was tough, like taking him out in the snow to go to the bathroom. So I told Tom, I'm like, I'm not bringing him this week. And he's like, we have little kids this week. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And he's like, what do you mean? Amos is like, we have to have Amos. And I'm like, no, we don't. It's funny because in the beginning I believed that I had to have Amos, and then I got to the point where I just didn't need Amos because Amos was there. Amos served his purpose in my life.
That was the bridge.
That's right. And just like that little girl served her purpose in my life. I've never met her again, that one in the restaurant. She served her purpose, and Amos served his purpose in my life. So I didn't need him for that anymore. So he was my bridge, and that's why I wrote the book. He connected me to those little kids and gave me an opportunity to be able to, I'll tell you, the most impressive thing that I do is the elementary school stuff. I really believe that. Like when I walk in the room and those kids are afraid, because that didn't change, like kids are still afraid. There's a group of kids, I can see them. I can pick them out in the room that they're uncomfortable. 1 minute into me talking, I can see that comfort just change. They're like, oh, they hear me talk. I talk about my dog. And then at the end, when we do a Q&A session with them, all they want to do is tell me about their dog and their parents. And I've been invited to birthday parties and stuff like that. But that just tells me that they are comfortable at that point.
That's connecting.
Yeah, it's connect. That's exactly it. It is connection. You want to talk about inclusion, and you really are worried about your kids, like, including other people. Like, when I go in there and do that thing, I mean, that is full inclusion, and it is super cool to see the transition. But if I didn't take a risk, I wouldn't be doing it.
Sure.
I didn't take a risk. But Amos was the reason that I could do that.
I want you to read this book, but first we got a phone call. Good morning. Hi.
Good morning. I'm looking for Rick Yarosh.
Oh, no. I know that voice.
Yes. I want to meet this guy, Rick Yarosh. He's really, really important. I think he's a beautiful man, and I wish he would hug me once in a while.
Yeah, you sound like the guy from the old Adam Sandler video or like cassette tapes that he used to do.
It almost
I can't think of his
sounds
name.
like Tom Murphy.
It is Tom Murphy.
No. It's Mr. Who.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Not
of course.
sorry,
Come
buddy.
on.
Yeah.
Not
Hey,
happening.
Rick, show him the best page in the book. What page is it? Go flip to the best page in the book.
There's 51 pages in here. You made one of them. I just want to say
Yeah,
that.
the only one that
I
matters.
just want
The
to
only
say
one
you
that
made
matters.
one of those pages, and that was it.
Wow.
Yeah, there he is.
Show the viewers.
There
the
he
best
is. Look
page
at
in the book.
this.
Oh.
There he is.
Look at the hair.
I know the hair.
The hair
I
is
know.
amazing.
He's Tom Wishes.
No airbrushed muscles on there though. No muscles.
Oh yeah.
No,
Well,
I
that's the
forgot.
real Tom
They
Murphy.
left that part out.
No, that's just the real Tom Murphy right there.
He has been pushing my buttons all school year. He gets to the little kids first, and he
Yeah.
says, "Hey, talk about how small his muscles are getting."
Yeah.
Oh man.
I say
Hey,
Tom's.
listen, seriously, I didn't get a chance to listen. I'll definitely watch the whole podcast. I've been slaving away trying to get schools for Rick to speak in all morning.
He slacks.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anyway, I didn't get a chance, but I do want to just, thank you, JD, for bringing my very, very special friend on today.
Dude, I don't need you to do that.
Rick doesn't need help with anything, and that's the beauty of Rick Yarosh is he figures most stuff out. Actually, Rick, I'm going to put you on the spot here. We just got an email, and there's a whole list of questions that you got to answer for this one school.
Yeah, I remember.
Then we see a picture of your cat and your dog.
Okay.
Did other people get hurt? So there's a whole list.
Sure. I
And
think
the
I told them I
one
would
thing-
send them a video response,
The
actually.
one thing that Rick has challenges with is a tad bit of procrastination.
Oh, I'm a master procrastinator.
Mm.
I'll do that.
And,
I'll think that's easy stuff. Anything for the kids, man. For you, it's going to take a long
that's-
time. So if you're asking me to do that, it might take a while. But if
Yeah.
I just get the email from Brian or something, I'll do it right away.
Exactly. Exactly.
Anyway, I needed to call in for some early morning harassment, and just wanted to tell everybody just how grateful I am to you, JD, for allowing us to do this, and most importantly, to be Rick's friend. He sometimes has trouble with relationships, and he's got to actually pay to sit on someone's couch. So
Yeah.
thanks so much for taking Rick's payment today
Yeah.
and allowing him to.
I was like, Rick has a hard time with relationships. I'm like, what is this coming from?
Yeah.
Not quite.
Right.
Hey, Tom, try to figure out how to send JD that video that Abby sent me yesterday. That needs to
The video
that needs to be played.
that
Of
Abby sent.
the little boy reading the book.
Oh, Julie's son. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, this young man, Justin Bieber years ago put him out on his Instagram or something because he was singing. I'm going to send it to you right now, JD.
Okay.
Are you one of those? Are you one of those non? You're like what, Rick? One of those non
Apple users, is that what you're gonna say?
Apple users.
Oh,
Oh no,
come
just JD. Can you go to our Facebook page? I posted it.
Sure.
Oh, you did? Okay,
Yeah.
good. I didn't know you did.
Yeah. Just go to our Facebook page and Sweethearts and Heroes,
Yeah.
and you'll see it'd be a great way to kind of wrap it up. Rick, you got another one today, and I posted that as well.
All right. I saw one this morning. One of my my good buddy's daughter read one too. I don't know if that was the one.
That's the one I was
That's
talking
awesome,
about. She
yeah.
calls you Uncle Rick.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm
Uncle
looking
Rick.
for it,
That's gonna be your
man.
new name.
Well, her brother Cade, her older brother, he is my godson, and his middle name is Yarosh. Cade Yarosh Bailey.
Really?
Yeah.
Tom, I'm looking for it, man.
Tom? Is there anyone that you know of that has the middle name Murphy named after you?
No one.
Oh, sorry, dude.
I was trying to think of something smart
one.
to say, like Rick. When are you gonna
Just
name
give
your
up,
next
Tom.
kid after me?
Just give up.
Listen, we got a dog recently, a puppy, and my wife was like thinking of names. We're all thinking of names, and I hadn't told Tom this yet, but she's like, "How about Murphy?" And I was,
Oh.
but she didn't. She
Yeah.
wasn't thinking that was your last name, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's a great name, but never,
Never.
never."
Can't
And
do
I told
that.
her why, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that could never work."
Well,
it-
you could always go with King Tom.
Oh, we could. Or we could just use your middle name, Aloysius.
Yes, that's a
Tom's
great idea.
Tom Aloysius
You
Murphy.
know, a lot of people don't know that middle name that he has.
Yeah, the Aloysius Thomas,
Yeah.
Thomas
A lot of people
Aloysius
don't know it.
Murphy.
They know
Yeah.
now.
Also, Jenna. This is the other one that we go with.
Yeah.
Thomas Jenna Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
JD, anyway, did you find Did you find
did.
the post?
Yeah, I did. It's a little girl.
hours ago.
Little girl reading it, right?
No, not that one.
No, not that one.
The
Go
other
down.
one.
Go down 2 more.
You can play that one too. That's my good. That's
Oh,
my.
I got it right here.
That's my good
Yeah,
buddies.
Yeah. Riley?
is
Is
great.
it Riley?
Riley, yes.
Yeah, Riley. This is the kid that Justin Bieber years ago put out on his Instagram because he was singing a Justin Bieber song.
Okay. Oh, you've got it on Instagram. Okay.
Yeah, I just posted it. So if you click on that, you should take you right to Instagram. Unless I don't know, do old people like you have Instagram?
Oh.
You know,
He's
amazing
older
thing
than
is
you.
He doesn't even realize.
Is he older than you?
I have the power to shut his to
Yeah,
hang
right.
up on him right now.
Oh.
He doesn't know that.
Nobody ever does that to Tom, though.
Well, it's
They
true.
let him just go.
It's true.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll figure it out here, Tom. We'll figure it
I mean,
out.
I can send you the video. I just think it's going to be too big.
Yeah, send it to me on Messenger if you wouldn't mind.
I'll read.
dude,
I'm
I
gonna
can do
read.
that.
I'm gonna read the book, Tom. Anyway,
Yeah, he's
so
gonna
I'll
read
read
the
the book,
book.
and then we can play Riley's video.
All right, yeah, you'll love it, man. This kid is a rock
Oh,
star.
so cool, man. Brought a tear to my eye while listening.
Well, listen. While Rick is reading it, please send it to my Messenger.
Okay.
Do
Old man messenger.
you know how to do that? Do you know how to do that, Tom?
Dude, listen, bro.
No,
I hang
no,
with,
you listen.
I hang with middle schoolers.
He's gonna hang up with us, and he's gonna go to ChatGPT and be like, "How do I do this?" That's his best friend.
I want to ask both of you guys: are you able to make the next MMA fight with Donnybrook Fight Promotions here in Barrie, the Battle in Barrie, 18 December 6th? Can you make it?
6th.
Both of you.
I know that's a day.
December
That's a day we have the
6th.
one of the
I'm in the Union Hall.
right, the Union Hall.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
All
we got to work. We got to work. We don't have time to screw around.
Yeah. Right.
Uh,
Yeah. MMA fights. Yeah.
Listen, all right. So listen, I'm going to send you that messenger. But listen, I got one more thing to say,
He's gonna
and
hang
this
up.
is important.
He's
I
gonna
want
hang-
you to
he's
listen.
gonna hang up. He's
on
gonna
me.
hang
Yeah,
up.
he's gonna hang
Yeah.
up. Oh, good. See,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
Guaranteed.
It doesn't work.
Yep.
He
Look,
already
he
hung up,
just
right?
did.
But
Yep.
listen, it doesn't work
He
when
hung up.
when we call it out before he does it.
Yeah. Of course not.
When the listeners, the
Takes
viewers,
the effectiveness away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's been doing it for too long now that
Yeah.
I catch it when I
Yeah.
know when it's coming.
Yes.
And it feels so good when I can hang out
When
first.
you know. See, I haven't mastered that yet.
Yeah, well, you
He's-
can't give him the satisfaction.
You know, the other day I was all confused. He's hanging up on me, and then he calls me back, and he hangs up on me again. Like, I'm trying to drive my truck here. What are you doing?
Was it on purpose?
Yes.
Oh yeah, of course. Yep.
Yes.
Got something for you. Click. All right, so I'll read this.
Please.
I am not good at holding books and like turning pages, so this will be an experience.
Do you
when
want
I read
some
it,
help?
when I read it, no,
All right.
no, it just
Okay.
might take a little longer. That's
Yeah,
okay.
I don't care.
But when I do it with little kids in the schools, I usually put it up on their screen.
Oh, I see.
I have a
Yep.
digital version that it's way easier for me to click a button.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna read it, and I'm gonna read it just as I read it to the little kids. So
Okay.
with the voices and everything, and
Oh, nice.
I have a pretty good flow of how the book goes. So I love reading this book. All right, here we go. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh wait, is it morning? Maybe it's nighttime, or is it the middle of the day? Oh well, I'll just start by saying hello. My name is Amos, and I'm a black Labrador Retriever. Page 1. Oh, look at that. Page 2 was set up perfectly. When I was born, I was meant to be a service dog. Do you know what that is? A service dog is trained to help people with many different things. I have a year and a half of training ahead of me to learn how. This is where it gets bad, where I don't get to the right page.
Take your time, man.
Oh, I will, JD. Don't you worry. We might lose a few people in the process.
No, you're not.
Training is hard work, but so much fun. I've been training for a year already, and today is my first birthday. My birthday is on Christmas Day. I only have 6 more months before I'll be an actual service dog. I am learning some amazing things, like how to turn the lights on and off. I am even going to learn how to call 911. So Amos could call 911.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Special phone set up for him. What do you need when you are calling 911? You are in need of help, right. So that was the command, Amos, help. And he would walk over to a phone, knock the phone off the hook, hit the button, any button. It was a special phone. Hit any button, and then it would go to speaker, and I could talk to 911 if I needed. We never, thankfully, needed to use that, but he was trained to if I ever did need to. Once I'm done training, I'll be the best service dog ever. I can't wait until I meet the person that I am going to help for the rest of my life. It's funny reading it, just like I'm reading it to the kids. I found out today that when I graduate, the person I will be helping is a soldier. My trainer said he got hurt pretty badly. I can't wait to meet him. Just 1 more month to go. Wow, training went super fast. I can't believe it's graduation day. But I feel something a little weird. I actually feel nervous about meeting my person today. I've trained 1.5 years for this moment, but I'm anxious. JD, I love that
Dude,
smile.
you're reading this upside down, bro.
Well, I got the book pretty much memorized.
I know you do.
Point.
I mean, you wrote it, but still.
But not from writing it, just from reading it so many times. When I watched the soldier walk in, I saw he had a wicked awesome robot leg. I've never seen one before, but I wasn't nervous anymore. I knew that we would be perfect together. He looked a little sad, but I knew I could make him feel better. I walked up and sat in front of him. I know one thing soldiers do is salute. So that's what I did. I gave him a big salute. So Amos was trained to do a salute, and they trained them by putting a birthday hat on their head. And dogs don't like that at all, so he would try to knock the thing off of his head. Yeah. When the soldier saluted back, I noticed his hands looked very different from the hands I was used to seeing with the people who trained me. It looked like he couldn't even open them. I was even more excited because I knew I could help him. It's funny, at this point in the book, the kids are like, those hands look like yours. And I'm like, yeah, that's because they are.
Wow.
The soldier's face looked different, too. I wonder if that's why he looks sad. Maybe people say mean things about him, or maybe they stare. But that's okay. I knew I could help. I would love him because that's what dogs are born to do. I got my neighbor across the street from where I live. She brought a thing over that somebody made for me the other day, and it's a piece of slate stone, and it has carving into it, and it says, I will love you because that's what dogs are born to do. And it says Amos on the bottom.
Wow.
Pretty special, man.
That's
I definitely
awesome.
The football game was on when she brought it to me, and I started watching the football game, and right as I was reading it kind of, and she's like, stop paying attention to the game. And I'm like, no, I'm just looking away from the stone right now.
Yeah, wow.
It meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
One of my trainers came up and introduced us. Rick, this is Amos, and Amos, this is Rick. His name is Rick. What a wonderful name. Rick looked at me and said, hello, Amos. You look like such a good boy. I am a good boy. It's true. Rick took me home with him and showed me around the house. He showed me my kennel where I would sleep at night. I slept in a kennel every night when I was training. But that first night, when it was bedtime, guess where I slept? In Rick's bed. And I never slept in a kennel again. Not the service dog way, and he would have been totally fine in the kennel, but I couldn't do that. The problem was when we went to hotels, his black fur.
Yeah.
All over those white
I'm
sheets.
sure.
Yeah,
I'm
not
sure.
really service dog stuff right there. I found out what Rick did for a job. This is Tom's favorite page because he made the book.
Oh, yeah.
One day we went to a school. Rick and his friend Tom, otherwise known as Mr.
Incredible.
Because the kids don't know him. I'm reading the book and they're like, who's Tom? I'm like,
Yeah.
I know, Mr. Incredible. Went into a big auditorium that was full of teenagers. I was amazed to hear his story of how he got hurt and how he was able to be very strong to get better. He told stories about hope. He said it meant hold on, possibilities exist, and about these people called sweethearts and heroes. I let the kids fill in a lot of the words as I'm reading too, because they know sweethearts and heroes. They knew we could call 911, and they knew we could turn the lights on and off, because I do that in the presentation. This is my favorite page. He told the students that heroes are people who help others. I thought that was funny because Rick called me a hero. I'm not a person, but dogs can be heroes too. Maybe tonight, when we get home, I can help him take his socks off. He doesn't really need help with that, but he knows how much I like doing it. So he would take your socks off. I didn't need help. It was cool that he could do it. So I would take my shoe off and I would say, Amos, tug, and he would come up, grab the very tip of my sock with the front of his teeth, just nibble. And I always say, you know what it felt like? It tickled. It tickled your toes. So when my friends came over to visit, they would all have Amos take their socks off too. It was like the cool party trick.
That's so cool.
Oh, everybody loved Amos. The friendliest dog ever. That was one thing. If kids were ever afraid of dogs in schools, I was like, this is your opportunity right now to meet the friendliest dog you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
So this is a good opportunity. And some kids were changed after that. They could not be as afraid of dogs. My favorite part of the day was when I got on the stage with him and we showed the students some of my tricks. I showed them my salute and how I could lay on my back. I even went through Rick's legs, and when he asked me, who's your daddy, I gave him a big bark. All of the students laughed and clapped their hands. I was famous. Famous Amos. What does Famous Amos make?
What's Famous Amos?
Famous Amos. What does Famous Amos make? Cookies. Famous Amos cookies? You've never heard of Famous Amos cookies?
No.
What?
No.
Super popular cookie.
Really?
Come on, JD.
Dude.
You can find them in any grocery store.
What?
Yeah, Famous Amos cookies.
I will look.
Some people would call them Otis once in a while, and that's a big, it's not Amos at all.
Yeah.
But I think they really get the things mixed up. So there's Famous Amos cookies.
I will look.
And Otis Spunkmeyer. What do they make? Come on. Muffins. Otis Spunkmeyer makes muffins. We went to a lot of schools, but one thing I noticed was I never saw any little kids. Did little kids even go to school? When I thought about it, I couldn't remember seeing little kids anywhere with Rick. I think I figured out why Rick was sad. I could tell that Rick was sad because he knew little kids were afraid of him. He knew he looked different, and he was okay with that. But he didn't want kids to be afraid. I knew I had to help. One day when we were at a school talking to older kids, I saw little kids on the playground. I knew that I needed to get Rick outside, so I pretended that I had to go potty. Rick saw all of the little kids on the playground and tried to go outside a different way, but I wouldn't let him.
Oh.
This is where the kids are like, is that true? And I'm like, well, that's probably the only part in the book that's not really real, because a dog couldn't tell me that. We went right over to the playground. I walked Rick right over to the playground. All of the little kids came running over to us, and they started petting me. I love being pet. I even snuck in a few doggy licks. As the kids were petting me, I saw a couple of them notice Rick, and guess what? They weren't afraid. They even asked him what happened, and Rick smiled. They weren't afraid. So, you're not supposed to pet a service dog. But
Right.
I let everyone pet Amos, so he was absolutely ruined.
Yeah.
Like when we went out in public, man, he was looking for kids because he knew they were going to pet him. After that day, I could see that Rick was happier. He had changed. He was happier. Now, when we went to other schools and I looked into the crowd, all I saw were little kids listening to Rick. I had helped him. This is one of my favorite lines. Rick was strong, but even really strong people need help sometimes. Pretty good to recognize that as a really strong person.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to ask for help. We all need it at sometimes in our life. We traveled together for 8 years before it was time for me to retire. I loved going to the schools to meet the kids, but I got tired of the long car rides and all the hotels. He just really didn't want to leave home anymore at that point. He was 9.5 years old.
Yeah.
Rick had added to our family so I wouldn't be lonely when he was away. He even met his forever person and married Amy. I even got to be in the wedding. He helped him carry the ring down. My nephews. Meet my 2 kitty sisters, 1 doggy brother and 2 human sisters. Tenley and Grace, those are my daughters. Sophia and Ellie are my cats, and Toby is my other dog. I am so happy that Rick still visits the schools even though I don't go. I'm glad I could help and be the bridge he needed to find happiness. And I hope you too can be a hero and help someone in need just like me. So that's the book. And, so when we talk to little kids in the schools, the kindergarten, 1st, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, we teach them that heroes are just at that level. It's just people who help other people. That's the start of being a hero. And that's why I use Amos as my example.
Yeah.
He was a hero in my life because he helped me. And we got some real pictures in the book.
Wow, dude.
Yep. We went together a lot of places. Amos was a big part of my life.
I would love to have you give me that book so I can give it to Dale.
Absolutely.
Little boy, the son of Cody Copeland, who was in here yesterday.
Absolutely. That's his book.
You can sign it up, too.
Yep, I will do that.
Wow. Your message is for all of us to be a bridge in some way, shape, or form to others.
Yeah, we can. I talk about purpose in this world. Like my purpose, being a public speaker that I realized early on, that was grown from somebody else that gave me an opportunity. He was my bridge to this world of speaking. He came into my life and he said, "Hey man, what do you want to do?" Which I always say is funny because he didn't come into my life and say, "Hey Rick, you should be a public speaker." Mm-hmm. He said, "What do you want to do?" I said public speaking, and he said, "Okay, I'm going to help you with that." He was my bridge to it. But he didn't tell me. It's not our job to tell people their purpose. It's our job to listen to them about what they like in life, what they want to do in life, and then help them grow that purpose. If somebody says, like we talk about this, if your daughter says, "I want to cut hair," and you say, "Ooh, you're so much better than that. You can do so much more than that." You're assigning them their purpose. She wants to cut hair. Help her be the best hair cutter there ever was. How about that? What shame is that? Like, come on. That's silly. Yeah, so don't tell people what their purpose is. Help them grow the purpose that they have for themselves.
Wow.
Yeah.
This time of year, and we'll close out with this. You've been such an inspiration this morning. But this time of year, so many of us, Rick, feel some weight. We hear the music. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. That's not necessarily in our hearts. There's a facade that many of us are carrying around. But deep inside, we can be subjected to some depression, some kind of hardship. anxiety, whatever it may be, financial stress, the pressures of the holidays. We got Thanksgiving coming up. And we lose touch with ourselves. The days are darker. We've got less sunlight. I mean, there's a whole number of things that compile together. And depression can sneak in and get the best of us without anyone knowing. You and I included. Even Tom.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Oh, man, there are so many things to say. Like, I'll have pieces of that too, sure. But, man, life is so good. It is. If I can say that through what I went through, if I can even say it at that point in my life when I was going through it, life is good. It's not easy, but it's good. And I can say that, you know what, that thing that is that depression, I got to be able to clear that a little bit. I got to be able to move that. I call it the smoke. If I can look through that smoke, if I can clear that smoke out of the way, on the other side of that smoke is so much good. So many good things. And if we can concentrate on those good things, it feels good. They're there. They're there all the time. But with depression, a lot of times we're just focusing on that one thing. Maybe it's a couple things. Maybe it's more than a couple things. But there's more good than there is those couple things for sure. You got to clear those things out of the way just so you can sneak through the peak at the other side and see the good. Life is beautiful, man. The world is beautiful. People are beautiful. There are so many good things in this world. We just focus on the things that are not so good. Clear that smoke out of your way. Look through. Find the good. And, and it kind of goes back to the HOPE, hold on, possibilities exist. Maybe this is just a rough time for you. And you hold on to get to those really amazing possibilities that exist, those rewards at the end.
You said something to me a long time ago that I won't forget. You said to me, JD, it's a guarantee that the shit will hit the fan.
Yeah.
That there will be something presented in your life.
We all lose people. There's one.
Yeah.
That's one thing.
But how will you prepare yourself to handle that? Because it's a guarantee it's going to happen.
Yeah, it is going to happen. I just know when it happens today because of what I've gone through. The shit has hit the fan so heavy at one point in my life that when it happens again, and it has already happened again, I'm living with stuff now. But life is
You're
still
not
good.
exempt.
No, I'm not.
Any of that.
No, absolutely. Nobody is. Nobody's given the blessing of you will never deal with anything difficult. And if you were given that blessing, it wouldn't be a blessing at all. You got to deal with difficult things. They make you stronger. But that's how I get through it. I know when I am dealing with difficult things, it will be okay. Okay might not look the way you want it to look, but it will be okay. And I will be fine when I get through these difficult things. And not just fine, I will be better. I will be stronger.
Wiser.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I know I don't want to be dealing with those difficult things. I don't. Doesn't matter. They're there. So if they're going to be there and I have no choice but to deal with them, I better be able to look into the future a little bit and say, you know what, it's going to be okay. And it is going to be okay. I truly believe that in my life.
We'll go out this morning with the video that Tom sent me.
Yes, so awesome.
And I just can't thank you enough for getting in here, man. I can't thank you enough. I know, at least I think I know. I've got a pretty good idea of how busy you are, and the rest of the entire team at Sweethearts and Heroes. You guys never stop moving. You never stop thinking. You never stop scheduling stuff. You're always in gear, every single one of you. And for you to alter your schedule and get here is a huge blessing for me personally, but also for our listeners. And thanks to Alderman Chevrolet, thanks to Cody Chevrolet, thanks to Wells River Chevrolet, all the Chevy dealerships that link up with you guys and say, we want to be part of this wave, of this movement that Sweethearts and Heroes is doing. You were just down at Alderman.
Yeah, they are the reason that we're so big in the North Country of New York and Vermont. They are the reason that we have reached, almost every single school in the North Country in New York, and we're doing a big portion of them in Vermont. They're the reason that thousands, hundreds of thousands of students have been able to hear our message. They are giving hope to people by what they chose to do.
And it's multiplied now. You've changed your program in a way so that the schools now have these tools and this ability to continue to echo the positivity and the messaging with your program after you guys have left the property. And that's massive. That's the deal breaker right there.
Sweethearts and Heroes can live in a school forever now with the programs that we have.
And the training.
And the trainings that we have.
It's
they
being
can live
sustained.
in school forever. It's not just Tom and I,
right?
Igniting something really awesome, and then 2 weeks later, kids are back into the swing of the old ways. We can live in schools forever now with the programming that we've built.
Yeah, it's so huge. So huge. Buddy, I don't know when I'm going to see you next. Tom still hasn't invited me to any of your programming, including Danville. I just haven't been invited yet.
You notice he bailed on this morning. He was crickets after you invited him in to come in with me.
Yeah.
There were crickets.
Oh, I know.
Not a single sound back.
And he hung
Murphy.
up on us because he was afraid.
That's right.
Yeah.
He was afraid.
Yeah, exactly. One of these days, maybe I'll get an opportunity to come and see one of the presentations.
You will. I'll send you the invite because you aren't going to get one from him.
All right. Would you do that?
100%.
All right. Thanks for coming in, buddy.
Absolutely, I love it.
We're closing out this morning. Set us up on this video here. Set this up.
So we set out that stuff to, if somebody could please read the book, send a video. And then we got this amazing video from Riley. I didn't know how many people we would get to actually do this. It's hard to get people to do something. And Riley sent this video and made my entire Veterans Day when I watched it.
I am learning some amazing things, like how to turn the lights on and off. I am even going to learn how to call 911.
Nice job.
I love that, Mom. Hello, Rick. My name's Riley. I just want to know that I read the book with Mom, and I love this page that Amos turned off the lights, on and off the lights, and they called 911. I love that page. Thanks, Rick.